What's up, traders, and welcome to my stream. In this video, we're going to talk about my month of September. We've been in the green, I think around $365,765 in 1 month. I did have a couple of big losses, but overall, it has been green. And I'm going to walk you through how my month went, trading a high P&L, trading, having, big losses, small losses, big gains, medium gains, low gains, and what I've came to discover throughout my trial and error as a trader for since 2008. So we're in an incredibly hot market in September. So I decided to pretty much push it pedal to the metal to my breaking point and see and give you all the data. I was able to profit a lot of money, and pretty much I want to talk to you through most of my, not all my trades, like my thought process after this period and how I was able to sustain these highs and lows, and how I was able to respect my rules. So we have about a 22 slide for these trades, as well as my thought process, and I want to walk you through it. So this is kind of like September 2025 and a cold market. So if I total pretty much all my profits, and that it came out to be that. So we're gonna go talk about. So you can see here that my September whoop score, I wear something on my arm that tells me whether I am recovered or not. This ticker has been pretty much this ticker has pretty much this September month has been pretty much a lot of red recovery, a lot of low sleep. You can see that most of it is yellow and most of it is red. Normally I have a really good recovery score and a really good sleep score, but because I was pushing so much size and everything was very volatile, I wasn't able to get my sleep in as great, and my recoveries weren't really that good. So trading with high size throughout the longer period of time is actually not recommended for health reasons. You can see here. So you should only trade with high size during during small periods of time, and then take your big gain and then leave. Because if you do it on a long term, eventually the house will always win. So these are kind of like my gains each week. I had a very volatile month, ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. And I came out with a couple of rules that I have set up. You can see green day here, green day here. I think green day here. But and I kind of a flat day. No, actually there was a red day here. Green day here, 104K. Green day here, 42K. So in this, then I had a red day, and then I had a flat day. Then I had a green day, 6. Then I had a 31, and then I had a 25, 50. Then I had 100 ATCH. You can see that was the biggest gain that I ever had. ATCH was 123K 765. That was a big gain. But you can see here that a bunch of these big gains came after a little bit of a colder streak. So after I was taking like 2 or 3 losses in a day before, I pretty much sized up on the next one, and then I pretty much made my money back, and I could have lost even more. But in this scenario, it seems to have worked out. You can see here that I have DVLT after, you can see here DVLT, I had a 25K win after losing 13K and 14K here. So a lot of these stocks were after I had a little bit of a loss, a little bit of a cold streak, and then I started pushing size to make up my loss. And amazingly, this time it worked out, but not always is going to work out. So I pretty much came up with a couple of rules, to protect me from myself during a hot market, to not blow up my account. And these are the rules that I came up with. So max loss per ticker should be around 2,000 during a hot market once you have a big account. Max loss per day should be around 10,000. You should, take profits, always take profits when you're up 10% and you're up on big size. Take flat when it comes back. That's actually self-explanatory. Don't trade the ticker more than 2 times. Like if you lose on the ticker more than 2 times, you're probably not going to lose the third. Size down to C size when sleeping score is under 60. I have discovered throughout my data that when I don't sleep well, I usually try to come in, and then I take a loss, and then I try to size in with more size, and then I actually take a bigger loss, and then I have a max loss per day. So what I've implemented as one of my rules, when my sleep score is under 60, I size down to small size. Don't trade more than 3 to 4 tickers a day. This has been my normal average. Like, if as soon as I trade more than 4 tickers, it doesn't come out well. Like, sometimes I had days in which I traded 12 tickers in a day, and usually my sweet spot between 3 and 4 tickers. If I trade beyond that, it'll probably be my accuracy will probably decrease. No trades after 11 and 4, and but if I will, I'm only limited to one. A lot of traders came into the market. They're like, okay, I'm going to trade after 11 and I'm going to trade after 4. I'm looking for aftermarket runners and midday runners. While these tickers do happen in a hot market, they don't really happen in a cold market. And since we got into October, a lot of traders lost a little bit of confidence because the midday runners did not happen, nor the aftermarket runners. So I was noticing that some traders are losing confidence because the tickers are not moving. But I have a lot of experience since I've traded the bear market in 2021, 2022. That was pretty much the whole market. You were coming in, you were taking 10% multiple times, and then you were leaving. That was normal for about 2 years. I did that. So for me, it was just a no-brainer. So try not to trade after 11 or 4 during a cold market. But if you do, try to only trade once. So the way I pretty much set up my, I started implementing the Freedom app to block internet after 11. So this is a really good app. You can get it on your phone. I actually found myself looking at the phone after 11, and I found myself looking at the phone after 4. And then where I'm in a cold market, there's nothing to look at, and sometimes it's a little bit depressing. But in a hot market, I do look at it middle of the day, and I do look at it after market. So what I've implemented, you can actually get the Freedom app for, like, I don't know, $30 a year, and they actually give you a 7-day trial. So I pretty much use the trial, and pretty much at 11 o'clock or 10:30, I shut everything off. So this is a really good app for my phone, not really for my desktop, but I've been using it consistently to, pretty much limit my exposure to the market and, not be a tradeaholic. The next thing that I did, pretty much I started reading Jesse Livermore Trading Insights. It's a YouTube channel, and I just started going through all these videos to pretty much balance me out, try to understand like what I'm doing wrong. You can see I went through about 4. You can see that I went through all these videos. It's Jesse Livermore Trading Insights. This is a really nice YouTube channel that really explains in detail, like, the trader's mind, because a lot of people want to just fund their account and mirror a good trader, and they don't want to learn. They want hot picks, and they want, to watch my videos for approximately 40 seconds, and then they wonder why they're failing or their account is blown within 20 days, because that's the average. 95% of traders lose their account within 20 days of funding. So, if you actually took the time and went through them, you'll understand, like, what are your mistakes, and, trying to elevate your trading mindset here. So these things were very actually good. Primarily, he talks a lot about, how a lot of traders made a lot of money. Say like I did, in a month of trading, 325 or whatever K. And then a lot of traders, I did have some serious losses, but not nearly to lose all of it. He talks about like how a lot of traders work a years at a time, or maybe a whole year, and they give it up in one day or 2 days, and how many times he's seen that, and how to protect yourself from that, because that is something you should watch out for the future. That's something we all deal with and struggle. It's one of the hardest things you need to, adapt to as a trader. So make sure you go through all these and understand them. And pretty much, so another thing that I started going through mindfulness courses. Does it drain you? Does it give it attention? So right now, a lot of things that I do actually drain me. A lot of things that I do pretty much help me out, like being in a chat room and helping out people that actually care about my opinion. And I explain them throughout my 20 years of knowledge. Actually, that pretty much helps me, to tell you the truth. So that uh, pretty much does raise my confidence, because I'm explaining something I've been doing for a really long time. But when I go on my, on when I go to my comments section, it actually, or pretty much, it doesn't, it really disempowers me, because there's a lot of people out there that it just doesn't really satisfy me. Or when I'm addicted to some YouTube reels, it doesn't really empower me at all. So I've or people, this is a really nice, if you're having trouble with a person that drains you every single day, a mother, a brother, a sister, a friend, a business partner, you need to cut them off, not through pain. You need to cut them off out of your life so you can, move on with your life. A lot of people, like my YouTube channel has been here for probably a long time. A lot of people are sitting on the sidelines, and for the majority of the time, people are just expecting me to work and expecting free picks, and that is something that I don't do. I create an environment in which people can learn, and I actually am in that environment, and I'm working at my craft every day. If you're expecting some guy on the internet is gonna, live stream his, 20% trades every day for free, it's just not gonna happen. So those people need to get out of my life. And and we do respect each other. I do respect you. I'm just not gonna give you what you want, because this is not I work for free and you pretty much try to mirror everything I do. So the best thing you should do here is, cut those people out of your life completely, which I don't give my YouTube attention just as much. I actually do post on my YouTube about once a month, and everything else is just a repeat of my files. So make sure you cut off the people that drain you silently. It just doesn't really uplift me, and I just don't give them attention. So a lot of my favorite things on my book section, I pretty much downloaded the Om mantra. I do like to listen to this one while I'm meditating at the middle of the night. Helps me a lot. And the Law of Attention, R.A.J. Spina, the Trader's Handbook. This is good. Like the Lion is pretty good. I do like to listen to Osho a little bit. It's a pretty nice. So these are kind of like my books. I do like the meditation of the Om mantra. I downloaded that one. I kind of listen to that on a daily basis. So, things that actually, disempower me. I stop reading comments. I start eliminating my comments like every 2 to 4 weeks, because sometimes I just read the comments as soon as they come in, and they just affect my mood, and I just stop going there. Even though most of them are positive, there's a couple of ones that come in, and they're just trying to get into my business, and I don't like people trying to get in my business. If you want to get in my business, get into my private Discord. But I don't like people lurking around, like, having trolls. I actually dislike having trolls around. Trolls come with lots of years of success, and of course I'm gonna have trolls, but I just don't want to associate myself with them, nor give my energy. I like to protect my energy, because that's I should protect my energy. I don't give my energy for free. So here we go. So I pretty much inputted all my data for the past. This is actually the most important thing that I have done so far. Inputted my data to a search engine, actually, AI processor. I inputted all my, 100 trades for the last 4 months, and I discovered that my average winner is 14%. And my recommended stop loss per ticker should be 5 to 8%. So if my average winner has been around 14%, so so usually if I have more than a 10% win, I should take it off the table. And sometimes I do have 25, 30, 40, 50 percent wins. But my average winner has been, actually is 14.4%. And my recommended stop loss, maximum stop loss, should be 6 to 12%. and my normal stop loss should be between 5 to 8% below my entry. So I actually inputted all my data because I did have a couple of losses throughout this 365 K month. What I ended up doing, I recognized that AI has a thing like saying escalating bet sizes after losses. Has been my major problem. This is what I should not be doing. I inputted my data in the AI software, and the AI software said that the majority of my problem has been escalating bet sizes after losses. That's my major problem. So I should have a maximum limit, share size. So changing my settings for match share size. So now I have a maximum share size, a recommended share size for beginners. It's 3,000 or less. This is the same share size that I have during a cold market. And recommended share size for hot market should be a maximum between 30K or 50K. But you've seen in the beginning of the trades here that I had a huge gain. That pretty much that pretty much that pretty much was a lot, and I had to bet a lot of money for that. And you can see GCTK, a lot of money on that. I had to bet on hour, a lot of money on that. That was a short. That was a long. That was a long. Majority of my trades are actually long. They're not actually shorts. I have a couple of shorts over here, but the majority of my trades are longs. So implementing a max position size in a hot market between 30 to 50K, and you can add that up higher and higher and higher. That's actually, I found that's actually the sweet spot for these trades. Finding a hobby, I actually recommend your hobby. Right now we got into October, and October has been pretty quiet, and pretty much it was very hard to transition between a really hot market and a cold market. So I ended up, purchasing a couple of video games. Actually, I'm a big fan of Planet Coaster 2. I actually went and I played it for like 61 hours, which is ridiculous. I actually I have one more map throughout the 4 chapters to finish. I actually am a big fan of Helldivers. Helldivers have been pretty good. World War Z, Warhammer, yeah, those are pretty good. I play them, but I'm actually excited about the Battlefield 6. So find yourself a hobby to pretty much, zone out stocks after 11 a.m. So you can see here that my recovery has improved, even though I had a stomach flu over here. Between Sunday and Monday, I had an actually stomach flu over here, so I should have been in the yellow most of the time. And right now I'm in the green, so I'm able to function much better. But you can see here I had a stomach flu, and but you can see that majority of the month, having up and down swings over here, has been a lot of yellow and a lot of red. So I was actually very unbalanced during this period. So I'm aiming right now to have a really balanced, sleep score and recovery score, because you cannot trade if you're mentally, if you're not mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually balanced. It's just not gonna happen. It's not You're not gonna make millions of dollars trading on bad sleep. It's just not gonna happen. You're not. Anyway, so in October we had a government shutdown. So right now the volatility actually slowed down, and a lot of traders came in a hot market, and then we're in a cold market now. So what I've been doing right now is pretty much sizing down to C size. You can see my trades for the past week have been pretty good. You can see my best trade here was CJET for the past week. I actually made a 20% gain, and it came out to be a 2K win. And then pretty much over here it came out green, over here came out flat, and over here became out green. So, I do specialize. A lot of traders are like, okay, I don't have $1 million, I don't have 30,000, but do you have 3,000 to your name? Because that is the position size I am at right now. So if you do not have $3,000 to your name, you should not be trading. You should be saving more money to trade, and also saving money to pay a mentor to help you trade. Because sadly, the statistics is 95% of traders blow up their account as soon as they fund it within 90 days. No, within 20 days. 95% of traders blow up their account within 21 days of funding it. So I don't know where I read that, but that's the statistic. So you can see, so now that I pretty much sized down, we had a pretty good winners overall, starting with Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And what I've been focusing on, cold market sizing, C size, hot market sizing, 30K to 40K. So what I've been doing here is I pretty much started helping my subscribers in the chat room, since I'm there every single day. And I want to ask you a question about over here. Is this set? What did Raphael do here wrong? You can see so here that he bought ASNS 63. He bought ASNX at 63, and then he sold at 66 and 69. And then he bought at 63, sold at 65, and so forth. So you can see so here that here he bought 25,000 at 64, and then he sold at 70. So this, to you, probably if you're a beginner trader and you don't understand, you'd be like, is this setup right here? Did he do a good job here? Because you can see he profited on his trading account. I don't know, he profited on, he made $650. Was this a good trade? And the answer is no. Amazingly, that is no. That's actually a pretty trick question. You might be like, oh, this guy made $750. Why is this a no? It looks pretty good. A downtrend break, he buys the breakout, and then he sells, and he made 750. And I'm going to explain to you in my next slide here. So so you can see so here, if I take this screenshot out of context, you can see that here you had a consolidation. So you can see so that prior to 7 a.m. we had a consolidation between 58 and 50, and actually my entry was at 56 over here, and my exit was at 63. So the buy point was right here at 56, and I sold it at 63. And then this is the first pullback. So he should have bought the first pullback at 56, 57, but not the second pullback. What he did here, he bought the second pullback over here, and with a size. So that's not something you should be doing. You should only be buying your first pullback right about here. And that should be a B or a C side. He bought it with too much size. So what I say here, that he's buying an A plus size on the second pullback. That's wrong risk management. Should be lower size the higher it goes. Buying a ticker with A size on the second pullback after 7 a.m. is not good sizing. The B, C size should be around, you should do a B or a C size around 7 or 7:10 a.m. And anything after that, if you're passing 7:10 and you're buying the second pullback, which is over here, it should only be like with C size, because you're chasing, you're chasing. This is chasing. You're buying the second pullback. And sometimes it might not work, because you can see we had trouble with 65. So if you're buying here at 63 and it hits 65 and then dumps back to 60 or 55, you can lose 10% real quick. So pretty much this trade has been a mismanagement of size. He got in too high, and pretty much he got into it too big. Even though this was a profitable trade, on the long term, it's not going to work out. So he's buying A plus size on second pullback. That's wrong risk management. Should be a lower size the higher it goes. So even though he made some money, you can see you had a consolidation pattern. I bought between 7 a.m. We did back down, and then he bought the second pullback with A size. So even though it worked out here, because he bought at 63 and he sold at 70, it's not going to work throughout the long term. That's actually what I'm trying to say here. So moving on to another ticker that we had this week. Another ticker was CJET. They had a 200 million private placement in CJET, and you can see so here that we have I actually bought this ticker at around 28. You can see we push up from 18, come up over here to 28. Then we have a downtrend break at 27. I buy it at 27 at 28 with a bull flag. I sell into the next resistance point at 34. The stock runs to 40. So this is a ticker that we had. I don't think I know what date this was. I think it was just last week. So, this was a bull flag, a stock that was alerted in the chat room. Pretty much we made a huge bank on it. And then another ticker, CJET, I pointed out this downtrend break to buy it as it breaks the downtrend. And I'll show you how this, I pointed this out in the Discord room. I take this profit, pointed out the Discord room, and this is how everything worked out. I ended up making that day around a 2K winner. Bought it over here in the beginning, and then bought it again at 36, sold at 45. The ended up going to 50. You can see so here that this was the downtrend wedge. The breakout point, the ticker did have 15, and then it actually had an offering. So it's important to not stick around after 10:30 and have a hobby, because these tickers do fall off the cliff. And sometimes in a cold market, that's what they do. So that's a really nice setup that we had. We had a downtrend break, and then a bull flag. Those are like very similar patterns that we had this week. And moving on. So where is the action? The action is actually in the chat room at all times. This is my Discord room. These are my scanners. The scanners actually cost around, I think, 1,000 a month. But I could also share you the settings for it. The scanners are, if you're gonna go by yourself, and buy these, first off, you need to buy the scanners, which is a trade idea subscription that will run you at $90 a month, and that doesn't include a chat room, doesn't include any type of education. And then you have to input the settings of the scanner, so you have to create 4 years of data for the scanner. I believe the only other service that offers scanners, just scanners, I think with some successful guy that has really good scanners, I think the lowest you can get is like 150. So this is where the action is. The action is in my private Discord room with the scanners running at all time. This is actually what the Discord room looks, and got about like 5, 6, 7 people in there, and we're all trying to squeeze as much dollars as we can from the market every day. My plans are pretty affordable. You can get it in the chat room as little as $97, but that doesn't include me talking, and it doesn't include having a live trade idea scanner or live stream daily chat delivery. So it doesn't include the live stream. It's just only chat access. You'll just sit there and you watch people type, and they're very acceptable. Like, nowadays, with $100, you cannot buy anything these days, to tell you the truth. And if you're expecting that, people that have money, people that are good at this, they're gonna, create an environment for you to learn for free, it's just not gonna happen. You're just gonna get annihilated. A lot of gurus will take advantage of, the sheep, the freeloaders that are looking for something for free, and they're going to pretty much sell into your buying. Life is not fair, life is not just, and it's wrong, but people will, promote their self-interest at the cost of your own. That's one thing I've learned about people. People will not be honest, not tell you the rules, and they will step on their integrity to promote their interest at the cost of your account. I've met a lot of people like that. So, for a low cost, you can avoid all that. This is month to month. So pretty much the path to failure. 95% of traders blow up their account within 20 days after they wire it. Joining a chat room in a hot market, if you're expecting to join a chat room in a hot market and expecting to win by following the guru, that's just not going to work. A lot of traders are just, mirroring everything I sometimes do, and I go against that. You shouldn't be doing that. You should be just looking, you should just be looking at the setup, and if it only, aligns with your your own studying, you should doing mirror trades without understanding setup, not putting in the work. There we go. Watching 2 minutes of my video and then ejecting. A lot of I pretty much track my data, and I also track my YouTube channel. If there's a lot of my videos get 40 seconds worth of viewership, and then after 40 seconds there's just no viewership. So if you're expecting to watch videos for 20 seconds or 40 seconds and then pretty much have a profitable trading count, that's not going to happen. Not respecting the boss and paying his small fee, that's probably going to get you. I had a really old subscriber that was signed up, and what he was doing, he was gambling, and he was making really high risk trades, and he was also bringing in third party information, like promoting third party information of other services, and he got muted. That's just wrong. So I don't like people that you know not really appreciate me, because that's against the terms. Gambling and promoting third party chat rooms in my chat room is actually against the terms, and I'm just not gonna I'm not going to be mean about it. I'm just gonna mute you without you even knowing, and then I'm just gonna move on. It's just I'm a very silent. I'm a very I push people away in a very silent, calm manner, and I go towards what I need and what I want to achieve in life. I don't fight. I don't argue. I just don't give it attention. That's what you should be doing. Fighting. Actually, this was actually a pretty good. Right here there was this guy had a really good right here. This guy right here had a really good 30-minute podcast in which he pretty much cuts people off when he sees that you should not fight with people that drain you. You should just identify them and push them out of the way, and then other people will come. So those are like your paths of success and your paths of failure. You can see that as of this time, I am a little bit more balanced. You can see my sleep score has gotten better and my trades have been gotten better. But after trading with huge size like this, it was a little bit nerve-wracking, to tell you the truth. And I don't recommend it. But there's going to be times in which you're going to have a hot market, and trade like we did like last month, and you need to have rules, and you need to have stop losses. You need to have lots of rules, lots of stop losses, and lots of plans what to do when you took say you make 20, 30, 50, 100,000. What are you going to do when you're going to give 30,000 back? Are you going to continue to fight, or are you going to meditate and you're going to embrace, calm and peace? And right here, you're going to shut it off. Are you going to listen to, Jesse Livermore? Are you going to, understand your chakras or whatever? You're going to meditate. So the question is not whether or not I can make money. The question is, most of the time is how much money are you going to keep? Because, if you size in too much on a ticker that loses, you can give a lot of money away very quickly, maybe a year's worth. But if you size in the right one, and you size in very well, you can make a lot of money on that end too. So not a lot of people think about blowing up their account. Even as a expert, you do need a plan to vent all this activity. Maybe video games, maybe maybe listening to podcasts, maybe listening to Jesse Livermore. What are you going to do when a hot market comes knocking at your door, where potential to make millions of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars, when you have not practiced, when you have no scanners, when you have no rules? What are you going to do? Because most of you're going to fail. And I'm telling you very politely and very calm and respectful manner, It's just most of you, if you don't have the practice, you're going to make a lot of money very quickly and you're going to give it all back. That's just the reality of the game. Even experts give a lot of money back. I don't know about beginners. I don't know about beginners, man. Even experts give a lot of money back. So this is hope you guys enjoyed my video. I don't know how exactly I'm going to name this video, but this has been a very challenging week, I would have to say. Going through the ups and downs of trading, you can see so here that for you, it might not matter that you see 20% on your sleep score. But I'm telling you, when you have a 20% sleep score, you're very tired. You're very tired and you feel like you just got run down by a train and you're pretty much having a hangover. That's what it feels like. And you can see I had multiple red days here. Anyway, that is about it. Make sure you join me in my private Discord and practice and use a simulator before using real money. Other than that, it's been a fun time explaining my process and my ideas towards most of you, which most of you are probably, most of you don't have any experience in the markets, how to generate wealth. You do not. And but with my help, and if you're able to study, you might have a chance. But most of you will not. Most of you will not succeed. 9 out of 10 of you will fail. It's just it's just the way it is. That's what separates the 1% of traders. So if you want to surround yourself with the 1%, you can do so in the link below, or you can blow up your account. Those are your two options and not be here anymore. Other than that, it's been a fun time trading with you guys. I hope you guys learned something. And until next time, pick a direction towards your success. Like this is a really good direction for your success, like right here. Practice is required, scanners are required. 7 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. is a must, regardless of what the market is, hot or cold. Seeing expert opinion in any market environment is required. And following rules will save you and keep your capital after you have made big gains. Or, that's those are just the basics. I'm not even getting into the expert level. This is just we're just scratching the surface here. Oh, that's been a fun time chatting with you guys, and definitely it's been a challenging month for me. But I will learn from this and journal, and I'll see you all in my next video. Peace.